Hi everyone, we're going to simplify expressions involving exponents. This is part 1, and we're just doing 2 problems. In part 2, we'll do 3 more problems. So let's get started. Okay, so the first one, did I write this right? This has a 3 on it. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is this one. And I noticed right away that if I just go ahead and cube everything, I'm going to have to do a -9 cubed, and I really don't want to use a calculator. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and simplify this before I cube everything. So when I do that, I have -9 divided by 3 is -3. This a goes into a squared one time, so we have left with 1a. And then b goes into b squared once. And then I'm going to cube it. Before I do that, let's go ahead and work on this one. The only thing we can do here is divide these two. So that's going to be -5 a squared b to the 4th to the -2 power. Now let's take care of this part. -3 cubed is -27. And then you have to do your a cubed, b cubed. And what I'm going to do with this one, when you have negative exponents, it means you can move it up or down in the denominator. So since this is all in the numerator, I can just write this as 1 over -5 a squared b to the 4th squared. There's different ways to doing it, but that's how I would do that one. And so I'm going to copy down the next line. And it's a 3. And then 1 squared is just 1. -5 squared is 25. A squared squared is a to the 4th. And b to the 4th squared. Remember, what you're doing is your a squared times a squared. So that would be 4 a's. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same thing for this. This would be b to the 4th times b to the 4th. So that's 4b's plus 4b's. That would be 8b's. Now this is over 1. So I'm going to go ahead and write all this out. -27 a cubed b cubed over 25 a to the 4th b to the 4th. And the only thing we can do now is simplify this bit here. A cubed goes into a to the 4th once. And this a cubed divided by b to the 4th is, that would be b. So our answer is -27 over 25ab. And for this part, just remember, I'll just do the a's. That means you have 3 a's on top. Whoops, why did I do that? 3 a's on top and 4 on the bottom. Oh, I keep wanting to write b. So that cancels, and you're just left with this 1a left. That's why it's still in the denominator. Okay, now the next one is a little more complicated. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring, remember I told you about negative exponents. I can bring this x up here in the numerator and take away that negative. So I'm going to have x squared times x to the 1/2 times 2x to the 1/2 minus 3x to the -3/2 all over 6. So that 6 is just going to keep staying there. Now, this part, I'm going to deal with this part first. I'll do it up here. So this is like x 2 x squared plus 1/2 using your product property. So when you add fractions, this is going to be 4/2 plus 1/2. Because 4/2 is 2, so that's going to be x to the 5/2. So So basically we have now x to the 5/2 times 2x to the 1/2 power minus 3x to the negative 3/2 power all over 6. Now I'm going to go ahead and distribute, and that would be, so I'm going to write this as x. Oh no, I'm going to write the 2 first. So I'm going to write 2x to the 1/2 times x to the 5/2 for that part, and minus 3 times x to the negative 3/2 times x to the 5/2. And this is all over 6. All right? This is x to the 5/2. And this is all over 6. So before I move on to the next slide, I want to just show you this one right here. This top here would be 2x to the 1/2 plus 5/2. And this one is going to be 3x to negative 3/2 plus 5/2. So let me write it on the next slide. So basically we have, let's see, where do I have it? Okay, we're going to have 2 times x to the 1/2 plus 5/2 minus 3 times x to the negative 3/2 times x to the 5/2, or plus, we already plussed it, plus 5/2. This is all over 6. So now all we have to do is add our exponents. So we have 2x to the 6/2 minus 3x to the 2 over 2, and then we all over 6. So this equals 2x cubed minus 3x over 6, or you can also write it as 2x cubed over 6 minus 3x over 6, which gives you x cubed over 3 minus x over 2. So basically, this is fine, or this one's fine. Okay? That's all. Thank you. Stay tuned for part 2. Bye-bye.